Malta looks small on the map, 60 miles south of Sicily. 3 main islands, population 400,000, but walk the limestone cliffs and you find something impossible. Stone temples older than Stonehenge, older than the pyramids, built by people who left no written records. No metal tools, no wheels, just precision cuts that modern engineers struggle to explain. Underground chambers that extend for miles, acoustic properties that shouldn't exist, bodies buried in ways that make no sense. 12 mysteries that challenge everything we think we know about ancient technology. What were they hiding? What did they know that we forgot? The temples of Malta were built between 3,800 and 2,500 BCE. That makes them the oldest freestanding stone structures on Earth. The people who built them vanished. No gradual decline, no invasion markers. They just stopped, left behind puzzles carved in stone. If you value documented ancient history like this, subscribe. It's the best way to support our work. Also, comment from which city you're hearing this from. This script is researched and factual, using sources from archaeological journals and UNESCO documentation. Now back to the story. 12 cases that stumped the experts. 12 riddles carved in Maltese limestone. Here's what the scientists can't explain. Number 1, the Hypogeum's impossible acoustics, Hal Saflieni, 3000 BCE, carved entirely underground, 33 chambers cut into solid rock. But here's what makes archaeologists sweat. Stand in the oracle chamber and whisper. Your voice carries through the entire complex. Speak normally, and the sound bounces back amplified. Resonance frequency measured at 110 hertz. That frequency does something to human brainwaves, changes consciousness. The ancient builders knew this. They carved the ceiling to create perfect acoustic reflection. No trial and error, no mistakes. First, try perfection. How did Stone Age people understand sound engineering that modern architects study for decades? The chambers connect in ways that make no structural sense. Weight distribution ignores basic physics. 30,000 tons of limestone carved out. The ceiling should have collapsed. It didn't. Support pillars placed with mathematical precision. Load-bearing calculations that weren't supposed to exist for another 4,000 years. The oracle chamber ceiling shows red ochre paintings, spirals and dots that match star constellations, but the paint was applied before the acoustic properties were tested. The builders somehow knew the chamber would work perfectly. They decorated it for ceremonies they hadn't performed yet. Modern sound engineers brought equipment worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, measured reverberation times, analyzed frequency responses, calculated acoustic coefficients. The Hypogeum performs better than modern concert halls, superior to buildings designed with computer modeling and advanced materials. Stone Age builders achieved acoustic perfection that Grammy Award venues pay millions to replicate. 7,000 bodies were found inside, not random burials, carefully arranged by size and age, children in upper chambers, adults below, elderly in the deepest rooms. The acoustic properties change with body placement. More bodies create different resonance patterns. The builders used human remains as acoustic tuning elements. They turned their burial chamber into a massive stone instrument. Tested, measured, still impossible. Number 2, the cart ruts that go nowhere. Across Malta's landscape, parallel grooves cut deep into bedrock. They call them cart ruts. But carts didn't exist when they were made. The ruts run for miles. Some disappear into cliffs, others vanish under the Mediterranean Sea. Gauge width varies. Some fit no known vehicle, others would need wheels 8 feet apart. Depth reaches 2 feet in places. That's serious weight, serious use, but there's no destination. They start nowhere, end nowhere. Just grooves in stone that took centuries to carve. Misra Gar il Kabir. Over 100 pairs of ruts converge, like ancient highways meeting, but highways need destinations. These lead to empty fields. Marine archaeology shows ruts continue underwater. Same depth, same precision. That means they were carved when sea levels were lower, 12,000 years ago, before the temples, before civilization was supposed to exist in Malta. Underwater surveys map the ruts extending 6 miles offshore. They follow the ancient coastline, connect to harbor areas now 300 feet beneath the surface. The ruts follow contour lines that make no sense for transport. They climb hills, drop into valleys, cross rivers. As if the builders ignored basic efficiency, or knew something about the landscape we don't. Geological analysis shows the ruts were carved through different stone layers. Some sections cut through hard limestone, others follow softer coralline. The builders had detailed knowledge of Malta's rock structure. They chose the easiest stone to carve even when it meant longer routes. Wear patterns inside the ruts show regular use over centuries. Polish marks from repeated contact, grooves worn smooth by constant traffic, but no debris. No broken wheels, no metal fragments. Whatever created the ruts left no physical trace. The builders used transportation technology that vanished completely, took their vehicles and tools to unknown destinations, Stone Age GPS that we can't read. Number 3, the Venus of Malta. Statues with no heads, Scorba, Tarxian, Hagar Kim, fat lady statues everywhere, massive limestone figures, pronounced hips, heavy breasts, no faces, every single head deliberately removed, not broken off, cut away. With precision tools that shouldn't exist, the cutting marks show metal blades, but the builders left no metal tools, no metal anywhere, just perfectly severed necks and mystery. The statues weigh up to 2 tons each. Moving them required sophisticated engineering. Ramps, levers, coordinated teams. The positioning isn't random. They face specific directions, astronomical alignments, seasonal markers. The builders understood celestial mechanics, star charts, solar calendars, advanced mathematics hidden in fat lady sculptures. Tool marks on the statue surfaces show at least 3 different cutting implements, chisels with varying blade widths, scrapers for fine detail work, polishing stones for surface finishing, an entire toolkit that left no physical evidence. The statues show evidence of repair work. Ancient patches where arms were reattached, legs reinforced with stone plugs. The builders maintained these sculptures across generations, treated them as living entities requiring care. The repair techniques matched the original construction methods. Same tool marks, same skill levels. Knowledge preserved across centuries without written instructions. But why remove the heads? Every culture preserves faces, honors leaders, remembers ancestors. Malta's builders did the opposite. They erased identity, made their goddesses faceless, anonymous. The cutting marks are fresh. Recent. Someone kept removing heads long after the original builders vanished. Carbon dating on limestone chips shows head removal continued into medieval times. 1,000 years of systematic decapitation. The headless statues were found in specific positions within temples, always near altar stones, always facing east. The builders positioned them to witness sunrise ceremonies, but witness with what? No eyes, no faces. The statues observe eternal rituals with severed necks and empty space. Who was editing ancient art? What were they hiding? Number 4, the Menidra Temple's solar calendar that's too accurate. South Temple, built 3600 BCE. Limestone blocks, positioned with surveyor precision. Dawn light on winter solstice hits a specific stone. Summer solstice illuminates another. Equinoxes trigger different alignments. Perfect solar calendar carved in rock. Accurate to minutes. That level of astronomical knowledge required generations of observation, mathematical calculations, understanding of Earth's orbit that wasn't supposed to exist. The builders knew about axial precession, Earth's 26,000-year wobble. They built compensation into the temple design, adjustments for stellar drift across millennia. That's graduate-level astronomy, from people who left no written records, no measuring instruments, no explanation for how they learned what modern science discovered with telescopes. The temple contains adjustment stones, movable markers that correct for precession drift. The builders planned for astronomical changes across thousands of years. Inside the temple, carved spirals match Fibonacci sequences, golden ratio proportions, mathematical constants hidden in decorative patterns. The builders embedded advanced mathematics in religious architecture, made cosmic calculations look like simple stone cutting. Every spiral contains exactly 34 curves. That's the 9th Fibonacci number. The spiral spacing follows phi ratios to 6 decimal places, mathematical precision that requires understanding of irrational numbers. The temple orientation aligns to stars that weren't visible from Malta in 3600 BCE. Southern hemisphere constellations only observable from equatorial regions. The builders somehow knew about stellar positions beyond their geographic reach. They encoded global astronomy in local stone, created star maps that spanned hemispheres. Time measurements carved in temple walls show divisions beyond solar years. Lunar cycles tracked to fractional days. Venus synodic periods calculated across centuries. The builders monitored multiple celestial bodies simultaneously, integrated their movements into unified calendar systems, advanced astronomical mathematics that medieval Europe rediscovered 2,000 years later. They knew things that textbooks say they couldn't know. Number 5, the Ġgantija temples that defy construction logic. Gozo Island, 3700 BCE, megalithic walls 60 feet high, stones weighing 50 tons, lifted without cranes, without wheels, without metal tools. The construction sequence makes no sense. Support beams installed after walls were complete. Foundation stones placed on top of finished structures, as if the builders worked backwards through time. Geologist analysis shows the limestone came from multiple quarries. Some blocks traveled 15 miles. Overland transport through terrain that has no ancient roads. The builders somehow moved house-sized stones across valleys and hills, left no evidence of the methods, no ramps, no rollers, no wear patterns on the roots. The temple walls use a double skin technique, outer face of massive blocks, inner fill of smaller stones, but the inner stones were placed first, then the outer megalaths fitted around them. That's backwards construction, impossible logistics. Yet the walls stand solid after 6,000 years. Engineering that works, but shouldn't exist. If you value documented ancient history like this, subscribe. It's the best way to support our work. Also, comment from which city you're hearing this from. This script is researched and factual, using sources from archaeological journals and Malta's Department of Classics and Archaeology. Now back to the story. Number 6, the sleeping lady that's anatomically perfect. Hal Saflieni Hypogeum, 3000 BCE, limestone sculpture of a reclining woman. Proportions match Renaissance artistic ideals. Anatomical accuracy that rivals modern medical textbooks. Muscle definition, bone structure, body mechanics. Captured in Stone Age carving, the detail level requires understanding of human anatomy, dissection knowledge. Scientific observation that wasn't supposed to exist. The sleeping lady was found in the deepest chamber, 20 feet underground, surrounded by 7,000 human remains, but she's different. Perfect preservation, deliberate placement, honored position. The other bodies show cut marks. Ritual processing, evidence of something darker than burial. Carbon dating puts her creation at the temple's construction peak. When the builders had perfected their mysterious techniques, when their knowledge was most advanced, then they vanished. Left her sleeping in stone while their civilization died around her. The last masterpiece of a lost science. Number 7, the Tarxian spirals that encode mathematical secrets. Temple complex, 3200 BCE. Spiral carvings cover every surface, not random decoration. Precise mathematical sequences, logarithmic spirals that match shell growth patterns, galaxy formation sequences, DNA double helix proportions. The builders carved the mathematics of natural growth into temple walls. The spiral measurements follow phi ratios, golden section mathematics. Fibonacci progressions carved in stone. Advanced geometry that medieval Europe rediscovered 1,500 years later. But Malta's builders embedded it in religious art, made sacred mathematics look like simple patterns. Laser scanning reveals hidden layers, spirals within spirals. Fractal mathematics carved at microscopic levels, detail work that requires magnification to see. Stone Age builders created mathematical art with precision that modern laser cutters struggle to match. They made stone sing with numbers. Number 8, the oracle holes that shouldn't work. Hypogeum, lower level, 3000 BCE, circular openings cut through chamber walls. Speak into one hole and your voice exits another room. Acoustic engineering that requires understanding of sound wave behavior. Frequency calculations, resonance chamber mathematics. The builders created a Stone Age intercom system. The holes connect chambers at specific distances. Voice transmission works in only one direction. Sound travels from upper chambers to lower ones, never the reverse. That's sophisticated acoustic design. Understanding of sound physics that wasn't discovered until modern times. Yet the builders got it right with stone tools and no theory. Tests show the system amplifies specific frequencies. Human voice range gets boosted, other sounds get filtered out. The builders created selective acoustic transmission. They could communicate across the complex without interference, coordinate activities, share information, control access to sacred knowledge, ancient technology that modern engineers study to understand. Number 9, the temple alignment that tracks invisible stars. Hagar-Kim complex, 3500 BCE, main temple oriented to star positions that aren't visible from Malta. Southern Hemisphere constellations, stars that can only be seen from locations thousands of miles away. Yet the temple alignment is perfect. Precise orientation to invisible targets. The builders somehow knew about stellar positions beyond their horizon. They understood global star maps, celestial mechanics from a planetary perspective. Knowledge that requires either long-distance travel or advanced astronomical theory. The temple positioning suggests they had both. Interior chambers aligned to different star groups, multiple orientations within single structures. The builders tracked dozens of celestial objects simultaneously, created stone calendars for stars they couldn't see, encoded astronomical knowledge that spanned continents. They built observatories for invisible targets. Number 10, the giant pottery that defies physics. Skorba Temple, 3600 BCE. Ceramic vessels 8 feet tall. Walls 1 inch thick, fired at temperatures that create glass-like hardness, but pottery this size shouldn't survive firing. Thermal stress cracks large ceramic pieces. Basic physics of clay expansion, yet these vessels emerged perfect. Show no firing flaws, no stress fractures, no construction joints. The ceramics contain decorative elements that require multi-stage firing, different clay types, varying shrinkage rates, colors that need specific temperature ranges. The builders coordinated complex ceramic chemistry, managed multiple firing cycles, created giant pottery with techniques that modern ceramists study to replicate. Chemical analysis shows the clay came from locations across the Mediterranean, Sicily, southern Italy, North Africa. The builders imported materials from hundreds of miles away, mixed different clay types with mathematical precision, created ceramic formulas that shouldn't work but do, Stone Age chemistry that beats modern methods. Number 11, the burial chambers with surgical precision, Zagra Circle, 3000 BCE, underground tomb complex. Bodies show evidence of surgical procedures, bone cuts that match modern medical techniques, trepanation holes that healed completely, evidence of successful brain surgery 5,000 years ago, surgical knowledge that wasn't supposed to exist. The bone analysis reveals sophisticated medical understanding, infection treatment, trauma management, orthopedic procedures that worked, success rates that match modern standards. The builders had developed advanced medical techniques, left no written records of their methods. No surgical instruments, just healed bones that prove their skill. Some bodies show multiple surgical interventions, repeated procedures over years, long-term medical care that required institutional knowledge, teaching systems, medical schools that left no trace. The builders had created healthcare systems that functioned at modern levels, ancient medicine that challenges medical history. Number 12, the construction sequence that violates engineering logic, Ġgantija, Phase 2, 3500 BCE. Temple expansion that ignores structural principles, new walls built through existing foundations, load-bearing elements removed during construction, support systems installed after weight was already applied, engineering that should have caused immediate collapse. Ground-penetrating radar reveals the construction timeline, foundation stones placed in reverse order, upper courses installed before lower ones were complete, construction sequence that defies basic building principles, yet the structures stand intact, show no settling. No structural stress. The builders somehow made impossible construction work. The builders left evidence of their process in the stone itself. Tool marks that show work direction, construction joints that reveal building sequence, physical proof of impossible engineering, methods that violate physics but created structures that last millennia. They built backwards through time and made it permanent. In 1995, construction work near Tarxian exposed a previously unknown chamber, 40 feet underground, sealed for 5,000 years. Inside, archaeologists found something that changes everything. A limestone slab covered in precise circular holes, each hole exactly 2.3 centimeters in diameter, arranged in mathematical progressions that encode star positions visible from Earth's surface 12,000 years ago. When sea levels were 300 feet lower, when Malta's cart ruts extended to horizons now underwater, the builders weren't just making temples, they were mapping time itself. Cold stone, ancient math, questions with no answers.